Welcome to the Doubting Podcast. I'm your host, the official CRG, and today we are going to talk about the real reality of what it's like to become an entrepreneur, plus some tips and tricks I've learned over the past couple of years of doing this podcast. But before we get started, make sure to leave a like and subscribe down below. That way you don't miss any weekly episodes and posts. You can find video of this episode strictly on YouTube, but the audio everywhere else. Now, becoming an entrepreneur is a goal millions of people have and strive for on a daily basis. But what a lot don't understand is to become a genuine entrepreneur, you need to have drive, patience, and dedication. And without mastering those three things, your failures and roadblocks will eat you up and spit you out with no remorse. You see, when I first made this podcast, I was running into countless amounts of problems, either with the editing, posting, clipping. I mean, no matter what it was, I was messing it up because I had no past experience. And because of that, it made me lose motivation because I did not know how to make the things I was envisioning. And I genuinely didn't understand what it takes to become an entrepreneur because I thought I could have quick and easy success without taking action. And I'm going to tell you personally that quick and easy success does not exist when you are trying to build a business or a company. Because the very first thing you have to understand is that more than likely, millions of other people are building the exact same thing you are doing right now. And the only real thing that is going to make your business pop is if you're unique and you stand out from the rest of the crowd around you. And now, yes, I understand that can be a tough pill to swallow because that means you can fail. But that also means that you need to work 10 times harder because more than likely there is somebody else out there trying to spread the same message or showing the same merchandise that you are trying to sell. You see, as a growing entrepreneur, I had to learn quickly that you cannot dwell or think about the what ifs. You can't worry about the judgment. You can't worry about those future failures because if you worry about those things, it will just instill fear into you and stop you from reaching that full potential. Because when you have fear, you're not going to put yourself out there. You're not going to give your all. And because of that, that could be a reason your business does not make it. But when I was doing some research around this topic, I was finding a lot of people just talking about ways to become an entrepreneur, but not really talking about what it's like to be an entrepreneur. Now, I don't want to crush anybody's dreams, but I am going to sit here and be 100% honest with you. As a growing entrepreneur, you will not stop working. I have not stopped working for the past 2 years. Now, obviously, I do these things for a reason because I have a goal, I have a dream, and I want to change lives. But if you do not have a goal behind your business, it will feel impossible because you will work 24/7. If you work a 9 to 5, you're going to work 8 hours, come home and put another 8 in. You're going to work on your birthday. You're going to work on holidays. Hell, I've even worked on vacations. But like I said, I do it because I have a goal and a dream. And if you really want to be successful and you want your business to pop, you have to understand that you need to have a goal behind it. Because if you're really just in it for the financial reasons, it will not go anywhere in the long run. But when it comes to some of the things I've learned while doing this podcast, the very first thing I had to learn was actually what we just talked about. And that is that you have to absolutely love what you do and you need to have a goal behind it. Because if you're really creating a business just for the money, just for the financial freedom, your mind and your focus will only be on that profit and not the creativity aspect side of that company, which will make you last in the long run. Now, there is nothing wrong with profit. Obviously, profit is an entrepreneur's end goal. But if that is your main focus, you will not thrive in an entrepreneurship community like others because they have a goal, because they're determined to reach their dream, and they're focusing on something other than just money. Secondly, no matter what you do, when you are just first starting a business, and this is strictly for people who are just first starting off, do not focus on the views, the subscribers, the charts, where you're getting put at. Do not focus on that stuff, because what you need to understand is that your business is brand new. More than likely, you are not going to get a million views on your very first video. But that doesn't mean you make bad content. That doesn't mean the stuff you're putting out there is not going to go anywhere. It just means you haven't had enough time to put your face or your voice out there and find that community. And last but not least, one of the most important things I've learned while doing this podcast and building my business over the past 2 years is that you absolutely have to get out of your comfort zone. Now, I understand this can be scary. In fact, it's one of the scariest things I had to do because when I was first starting, I was scared of the judgment. I was scared how people were going to handle me as a person and my content. But the second I threw that out the window, everything started to make sense because I would just go for it, because I would just put myself out there. And when I did that, and I really just showed everybody the real me, things started to happen. So if you're one of those people who are just stuck in that comfort zone, you don't want to branch out, you don't want to talk to new people, how do you expect yourself to be successful if you're not putting yourself out there? I understand it's scary. I understand it's a big step. But I promise you, the second you get out of that zone and put yourself out there, your company will start to grow. But at the end of the day, being an entrepreneur is one of the hardest things I've done. It is possible, but you really need to master patience, drive, and dedication because no matter what, things are going to get in the way. Things are going to happen until you build that solid foundation. But if you want it that bad, like I do, you will do anything and everything to make sure you get that goal. Because wherever there is a will, there is a way. But with that said, today's quote is by Jeff Bezos. He once said, "You can be grinding for 4 years with no results. And in the fifth year, you become the biggest thing on the planet. The power of not giving up is real." I appreciate you tuning in. You can follow us on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. And this is the Dowden Podcasts.